Hello everyone, happy Friday. Today I am going to be repotting these plants. These here. My aunt sent these to me from Florida for my mom's funeral. Well, they didn't actually come from Florida. You know what I mean. She called the florist and had this sent for the funeral. And it's got at least 4 different plants in here, and I need to repot it. And yesterday I went into town to find some flower pots. I thought maybe I could get them on clearance this time of year and I could get this project done. Well, I was too late and there was nothing to be found in the garden center. Now they did have potting soil 50% off, so I was able to get that cheaper, but there were a couple of pots. They weren't exactly what I wanted, and they weren't clearance down. They were still $11, and I'm like, I need like 4 pots. I'm not spending $50 or nearly $50 on pots. So then I went over to the kitchen section, and I thought, well, maybe I can find something unconventional, some kind of a container to plant these flowers in. Well, they're not flowers, but transplant these plants. And of course, you know, they did have some things I wanted, but they were still expensive. And I'm like, so I just came home and gave up on the idea. Well, I was sitting around today thinking, you know what, I'm going to go through my house and I'm going to find some containers of different sorts, whatever I can find that I like, to transplant these plants in. Dishes and containers that I don't use. They're just sitting up in my cupboard taking space. So let me get this camera turned around and I will show you what unconventional containers I came up with to repot these plants. Okay, so the first container I found is not really unconventional as far as plants go, because this actually is a planter. It had a plant in it at one time, and I had to transplant it because it was the plant got too big. And I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to use this, because I'm not sure if any of these plants that are in here, once I tear this apart, if there'll be any that's small enough to go in here. But I'm going to use this if I can. And I've got some of these leftover rocks or glass, I don't know what you call them, that I'm going to leave in the bottom for drainage. Next thing I have is this crystal bowl. It's just been sitting around having no use whatsoever. It used to belong to my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law passed away about 19 years ago, and then my father-in-law passed away about 5 years ago. In January, I believe it'll be 5 years. Well, after he passed away, then we had to, you know, go through the house and divvy everything up, and I ended up getting this bowl, and I've never once used it. It's just been sitting in the cabinet, and that's the same with this bowl. This, I believe, maybe a punch. No, it's too small for a punch bowl. It's just like a serving bowl, and it's beautiful, but I never use it. It's just sitting in the cabinet, taking up space. And this way, I figure if I plant flowers in it, then at least I can look at the containers on my flower stand. And then the last container I have is this bowl that my sister gave to me years ago for Christmas, and I do use it very rarely. I very rarely use it, and so it's another one that I'd like to kind of have out where I can enjoy it and can look at it. And of course I'll have this one that says eggs out on the shelf. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these plantings, and I'm also going to use for drainage these rocks. I use these for a project that I do in co-op for my kids, but I can always get more. They sell these at Dollar Tree. These shiny pebbles. So I'm going to use these for drainage in the bowls. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and get started on planting these plants. Okay, so here they are all in their 4 separate pots. When I first tore that plant apart, I thought there were only 3 viable plants, but then I found this little guy, so I ended up using all 4. And of course, I made a huge mess on the floor, and wouldn't you know it, I just mopped in here today. Mopped and washed my rugs. Yes, that's my luck. And these plants are going to go over here on this plant stand like I had told you before. And so this is what it looks like before I get the plants on it. And I'll get the plants on it and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like after. Okay, so here's the after. This is the top shelf. There's that picture that I got at a garage sale for $1. And there's that green bowl that I got at a garage sale. And then those fruit are hand carved out of wood. And I got those at a garage sale. And I think those look really cute in there. There's apples and pears and bananas and some grapes. And then, oh, excuse me, I'm still struggling with a cough. That tall plant, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of a fern. Not fern, some kind of a palm, I think. If anybody knows what any of these plants are, please leave a comment below because I don't know what they are and I'd kind of like to know. And originally I was going to put this plant on the bottom shelf, but it's too tall. It wouldn't fit on any of the shelves except for the top one. So I've got that. And then on the next shelf down, I don't have any plants. I just have the things I showed you before from the garage sales. And then I got those little signs at the Dollar General store for fall. And then on the third shelf down, oh, I have to get down on my knees here. I've got my planter with my cacti in it. And then I got my essential oil diffuser. And then I've got this plant that I really don't know, have a clue what this is. So if anybody can tell me, I'd appreciate it. And then on the bottom shelf, I've got this plant in the bowl, and like I said, I've got the word eggs showing to the front. And I think this plant is called mother-in-law's tongue, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And then I've got my owl next to it, and then I've got this little vining, maybe it's some sort of an ivy, I'm not really sure. So here's the whole shelf all done. Now I'm sure that in time those plants will outgrow the pots that they're in and I'll have to repot and reorganize, but hopefully that won't be for a couple of years anyway. Sorry about the lighting, but it's overcast outside and this is the best I can do for lighting. But anyway, this is a peace lily that I also got from my mom's funeral, somebody had sent, and I had no idea how to care for it. And someone told me that, oh, they're easy to care for, you can't kill them, you know, they're just like impossible to kill. Well, I think I was killing it because it was doing terrible. It was, all the leaves were turning yellow and it was just doing horrible. So finally I went online and looked up why the leaves were turning yellow and how to care for it. And basically I wasn't watering it correctly, and that's why the leaves were turning yellow. And I also found out that peace lilies do not like direct sunlight. Now I've had it in front of that patio door all summer, and they prefer a north-facing window and out of direct light. So today, when I read that, I moved it in here. I pruned all the dead stuff off of it and the stuff that was turning yellow. And it's about half the size it was when I first got it 4 months ago. But I'm hoping now that I know how to water it and have moved it out of the direct sun, maybe it will come back and start looking beautiful again. But it's kind of looking a little pitiful right now. So in its place, I brought in my rosemary bush from outside. I always bring it in the fall, and I was wondering where I was going to put it, because originally right there is where the peace lily was sitting. So it worked out well that I could move my peace lily out of the direct sun and bring my rosemary bush in the house. So as I've said before, I do not have a green thumb at all. I don't particularly enjoy getting my hands dirty and working with plants, and I don't have any knowledge of how to take care of them, and generally I kill them. I've even killed succulents and things that were impossible to kill. I killed them. So anyway, I've done the best I can with these plants, and I will try my hardest to take care of them well, and I don't want them to die because they were from my mom's funeral. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little transplanting video, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye, friends.